welcome to the Tavern Chat Podcast. I'm your host, Eric Tenkar, your bartender in the OSR, your main proprietor at the Tenkar's Tavern blog, Discord server, Mimi group, Facebook group, Twittering, and Instagram. So yesterday, I was mentioning the, dare I say it, the stroke job that Anchor was giving me, with all these notifications for paid sponsorships that weren't paid sponsorships. Whatever. So, that being said, one of our fine listeners, Jeremy, sent me in a faux ad from Anchor. And I gotta say, it's appropriate, it's accurate, it's entertaining. So, just so you know, Anchor is not sponsoring this episode. However, let's just tell you the following. Life isn't fair, and neither are cards. The great Del Moody, and anyone who's ever drawn from the deck of many things. A vote for my opponent is still a vote for me. The invincible overlord addressing his city-state. You can't always get what you want. The Rolling Stones, because, yes, they're old school too. So remember to vote this election day, or just connect the dots on your ballot. After all, madness is no fun when kept to yourself. Writing Cthulhu, because in this day of divisive pretense, you don't have to vote for any lesser evil. Brought to you by the ousted content from the first printing of deities and demigods. Now that is a fucking ad. Okay? It is well done. It's in the spirit. Yes, go out and fucking vote when the election comes. I don't give a shit how you fucking vote. If you vote for the Democrat, the Republican, the Libertarian, the Green Party, all flesh must be eaten party, write in your own candidate, vote for your cat, get out and vote. And Ashley's looking at me. No, when I said vote for your cat.
Ashley 2020.
Yes.
Ashley 2020.
Ashley 2020. Ashley Tenka. She's like, what? I don't know, not what you're talking about.
Her running mate is Donka.
Oh, yeah. Vice President Donka. Because, yeah, Ashley would have to be president because you're getting old, girl. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. So, folks, what am I going to talk about today? Well, I was peeking on, of all places, and world, and apparently there's a new Batman RPG in the works from the same French company that apparently had like a $4 million Kickstarter for a Batman Gotham board game. You know what? It's a $4 million gaming related Kickstarter. I had no fucking clue that was out there. But there's a reason for that, I guess. As much as I enjoy the Marvel movies, you know, the Marvel Cinema Universe, and actually enjoy the DC ones. It was such a shame that fucking Green Lantern was such a fucking waste a couple of years ago. But, Justice League wasn't horrible. It wasn't great, but actually reading superhero comic books for me these days, I can't get into. And it's because I can go back to my old comic books and realize they probably weren't well written. And then you had the age where they were getting well written when I was in college. And they were also mass produced, so I don't fucking think I have any of them left because they have no value. And then we got to the age of comic books are no longer meant to tell you stories of escapism. They tell you stories of the new morality. Kind of like the old morality, but it isn't like Green Lantern, Green Arrow dealing with Speedy's heroin addiction in those classic Green Lantern, Green Arrow comics. which was spot on. No, it's, to make sure that you're coming along in this new world of ours, of what is correct and what isn't. And I think they haven't carried that shit over to the movies, and I think that's why the movies work, and the comic books are slowly going to shit. So, my urge to roleplay in a Supers RPG is minimal. And that's a shame, because I love the universes. I love the Marvel universe. I love the DC universe. I love what they were built upon, especially when I was a kid. And, with DC, with Earth 1, Earth 2, Earth S, Earth Prime, Earth C, the Charleston universe, before the crisis of the infinite Earth, and then everything gets merged together, but then it got unmerged so people could do their own stories. Oh my God, comic books. Ugh. If there was ever such a thing as divergent time theory, and how time is like flowing water, and it will always come back to its path, that is fucking comic books. Alright? That being said, I never owned a Marvel Supers game. True confession. I know, right? The 4-color grid. I played that with the Conan game. That used the same damn thing. But I never owned Marvel superheroes. I did, though, own DC Mayfair. And I think there were two. I think I owned both editions of that. I never thought they really were able to capture it all that well. Tiny D6 Supers is probably the one Supers game that I would consider running. Because it's simplified and easy enough to pick up. Because, superhero games break down on that power scale. And it reminds me of when a couple of guys, including myself from our gaming group, we got invited when I was in high school to play in this gaming group with college students and, I think one or two, quote, college professors. And we were all excited because, wow, these are real, I don't say professional players, but, we're self-taught. These people know their shit. And the table of 12, 13 of us, with people with high-level characters, and then the 4 of us giving first-level fucks to just stay in the back and shut up and don't say anything. And if you had something you wanted to do, make sure you go through the caller. But, yeah. To me, that's how superhero games were when I was a kid. Because there was no such thing as balance, right? How can you balance the Incredible Hulk with even Daredevil? Right? There's no balance. Incredible Hulk and Hawkeye. What kind of fucking... There's no balance. Maybe some hand waving, but there's no real balance. How do you balance Thor and Spider-Man? You don't. When you talk about a fantasy RPG, the party kind of progresses together. There is that relative balance. Everybody fills their corner of the universe for versatility and usability. Superhero games seems to be lacking. But like I said, there'll be a new Batman game, RPG, coming up. It's going to be something I'm going to have to keep an eye on because they're claiming it's going to be D20 based. Whether that means 5th edition or 3rd edition or Pathfinder, I don't know. That's actually the most interesting part about that. Is it not really well defined? So it shall be interesting. Folks, we're still in the midst of a pandemic. So, use your common sense. That's it. Use your fucking common sense. I guess you could throw don't be a dick in, but, I think common sense covers that. Be safe, be well, God bless. Roll those dice. God willing. And, knock on wood. God's been doing well by me. Thank you, Lord. I'll talk with you all tomorrow. Alright? Alright, folks. Be good. Laters.